Hey guys, it's your good buddy Doc here with a different type of video. I'm joining you from the kitchen table in our new house that we just acquired today. But what I wanted to go over with y'all is I've been getting a lot of books lately, and it seems like my list is ever growing. So I sat down the other day and I said, what am I going to keep? What am I going to drop? And why am I going to keep them? And why am I going to drop them? So I made some notes and I wanted to go over this with you guys, starting off with Absolute Wonder Woman. I am loving Absolute Wonder Woman. It's one of the two Absolute books that I'm still reading, and I just love it. The Kelly Thompson story is amazing. The Hayden Sherman artwork, I'm down with Hayden Sherman. I did enjoy the two fill-in issues that they did. That was really amazing artwork, and it elevated the title in my opinion, but I understand if that artist can't do that on a monthly basis, so you've got that. But that book is definitely going to stay. Next, I'm waiting on Batman with Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb. I'm going to stick it through with that, but whenever that finishes up, I'm not really interested that much in Batman, so I'm not going to hang out for the Jorge Jimenez and Matt Fraction book. I'm just not going to stick around for that. So they've got me through 163 with Hush, and then whenever the miniseries comes out that finishes Hush 2, then I'll go read that, but I'm dropping Batman after 163. Feral is pretty self-explanatory. I love cats, I love animals, and I love this book. This book is solid. The artwork by Trish Forster and Tone Rodriguez, you can't beat it. It looks like a Don Bluth animated movie come to comic book form, so it's staying. G.I. Joe just keeps getting better and better with each issue. Joshua Williamson is knocking it out of the park. That is not any flies at all on Larry Hama. Larry Hama has been writing the Joes since the 80s, almost since I was born, so that is not any kind of knock against Larry Hama at all. But I just think that Joshua Williamson has got some fresh eyes maybe on this property, and he's bringing his A game. Green Lantern by DC. That's entirely like I'm going to drop that. That's a easy top 3 book every month when it comes out. It's Jeremy Adams' best book at DC, and in my opinion, it's DC's very best book overall. Minor Arcana, which is a Jeff Lemire title. What can I say bad about that? The artwork did take some getting used to. That's probably why I didn't read Sweet Tooth way back in the day, is because Lemire's stuff is not always the most accessible. I see a lot of other comic book YouTubers talking about the fact that they can't get behind his artwork, but the man's storytelling is impeccable. There's just second to none. Absolutely second to none. So I am here for Minor Arcana, the story of Teresa and her mother and her grandfather. I got to see what's going on. I got to see what's coming up next. Last Boy has only got, I think, 2 more issues to go, 4 and 5, by Dan Panosian. It's an interesting take on Peter Pan and the fact that he's the only one that hasn't grown up. Everybody else has kind of moved on and is dealing with whatever traumas and things that have come through their lives. Give me just a second, guys. Hang on a second. There we go. That's a little more, that's a little less awkward where you're just looking straight up at me, and I think I get rid of some of the blue screen glare from my iPad on the video. But like I said, this is a story where Peter Pan he's the only one that hasn't grown up. Wendy has got her own thing going on with wanting to tell her story, but Peter is the only one out of all these characters that still, oh, let's go beat up on Captain Hook. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. And everybody else is like, wait a minute. Captain Hook signed a treaty with this indigenous tribe over here years ago. there's no squabble between the two. So you're not protecting anybody. Instead, you're just stirring up stuff. Okay? Next up is Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman. And I heard a terrible, terrible rumor / truth this weekend that these books are only going to go for 24 issues. So 24 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men. I think is going to reach. I don't think it's going to make it to 24 because it wasn't one of the first titles. I don't believe. You guys hit me in the comments below and let me know for a fact. But I don't know that it's only 2 months behind Ultimate Spidey because I know issue 16 just came out. And I want to say that the next issue of Ultimate Spidey that's coming out is number 18. So it'll make it to issue 22. Universal Monsters Mummy by Aaron Hicks. It's only got one more issue to go, which I think is coming out this coming up week. And then after that, I'm gonna be done with it. Not because I'm dropping it, but because the miniseries is finished. Void Rivals. Robert Kirkman, Transformers goodness, Energon Universe. Any of this ringing a bell? Even though the artist left and we've got new art team on the book, Kirkman's story is solid. It reminds me of his Walking Dead days where he just told the most exciting cliffhangers in the industry with The Walking Dead. Those especially first 100 to 120 issues or so of that title just kept you on your toes each and every month without fail. And Void Rivals is very similar in nature to that book. Youngblood Deluxe. I'm going to get issue 3 and then I'm going to drop that. That was kind of a nostalgia buy. Sorry, Rob. Love you. But I've got to cut some of these books. So after issue 3, I'm done with Youngblood Deluxe. Amazing Spider-Man, I will collect until the day I die or they quit publishing the title. Hands down. Whoever's writing it, when it goes through a really bad, like Zeb Wells run, I know that it can get better and that it will eventually get better because we will eventually get Nick Lowe out of that position at Marvel and we'll get some new editorial blood in there. And in that new editorial blood, maybe we can actually get the fans what they want instead of just insipid, asinine comments to fans like myself who have read this character for 30 plus years, and we know what the character should do in given instance. He never would have made the deal with Mephisto. Never. Not in 1,000 years would he. And by now he would have found a way to undo that. Endless Night, I read the first issue. I did not know that it was a tie-in to a previous series, and it just wasn't interesting enough for me to pull me into something, that I've got to read another mini-series to fully appreciate. So Endless Night was a one and done, and moving on. Jump Scare is unfortunately finished, but I hope to see more of that story by Cullen Bunn and his collaborators on that title, because that was just a fun romp through both real and imagined horror titles, and that character's got so many layers to her. I hated to see the finish to The Moon is Following Us. That was a real tearjerker, folks. That'll get you in the feels. That'll get you right in here. If you've never read that, go back and I would say track down all 10 issues, but I would just wait for the trade because they'll probably do it in 2 trades. But Daniel Warren Johnson and Riley Rossmo and Mike Spicer absolutely knocked that out of the park. It started off rough because the dynamic between the husband and the wife, it reminded me of, to be honest, a bad relationship that I had, one that went sour. And I was like, I don't want to read this. Why do I want to revisit that part of my life? I'm happy now. I'm married. I'm happy. I'm with somebody who appreciates me for who I am. Why would I want to revisit that? But I'm glad that I stuck with it all the way through because he presented a story about why the wife was so angry and why the husband was the way that he acted towards his wife. Walking Dead Deluxe, I'll collect it all the way through 193. I'm already up to 115, I believe, so why would I stop now? That title is right in the middle of All Out War, or actually just getting cranked up on All Out War. Now, it will be a little bit of a slog to get through the 130s all the way right up until the end. I kind of feel like Kirkman was treading water at that point. So I'm looking forward through 125, and then after that, I'll hold on to it for completion's sake until we get to late 180s, early 190s. All right, what else is there? Aquaman. Jeremy Adams has actually made me care about Aquaman. That's the first time in my entire lifetime that I really, really cared about Arthur Curry as a character. I read some of the stuff as backups in the Adventure Comics issues that Jim Aparo drew back in the 1970s after his Spectre run was finished. And it's great stuff. And Jim's artwork drew me in. But as far as the power set and the character itself, he's never really spoken to me. But he's bringing the same kind of mythology, I think, to Aquaman that Jeff Johns brought to Green Lantern when he brought Hal Jordan back in 2005, 2006. He's adding this lore and making it so much more than just a beat-em-up book. Arthur's not interested in going and punching somebody, except he's trying to find out what happened to his fellow Atlanteans. And everybody wants to know what's going on with their friends and their family back home. So that hits, that always hits on a personal level. Conan, Jim Zub's got me till the end of his run. That's the notes that I put in for that one. I tried reading Conan years ago when Kurt Busiek and Kerry Nord were on it, and when Kerry Nord was on it, I stuck it out. But I think that title ran for 50 to 60 issues, something in that neighborhood, and I probably dropped out. I dropped out after 25, and I think I picked back up around 30s, and then I dropped out again. And so this one I've collected almost 2 straight years, and I look forward to seeing what Jim does in the next 2+ years. By the way, Roberto De La Torre, come back. We need the second coming of John Buscema to continue. Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. That's an excellent story with Tom Mandrake-like art. What's not to love about that? You're getting to see the story of Asami and the cowboy, we'll call him because I didn't make notes, McWraith. You're getting to see them actually fall in love and build something more than just 2 fighters that are stuck together. They've fallen in love with each other, and they're trying to fight their way out of a physical as well as spiritual hell. So, excellent stuff. Jerry Duggan, can't say enough about that title. I absolutely love it and hope it doesn't finish for quite a while. I'm going to read all of the Fantastic Four facsimiles all the way through issue 12 because I actually have a rather beat-up copy of FF number 13 from way back, what would that be, 1962. And I want to have those first 12 issues so that I can sit down and as chronologically read that first year of FF. And go back and reread it once I have all 12 issues to say this was the foundation of Marvel Comics. This is when Timely or Atlas or whatever you want to call it turned into Marvel Comics. So I'm down for the next, like I said, 6 issues of facsimiles. Green Lantern Corps number 5, same thing can be said about that as can be said with Green Lantern. It's building mythology, but I'm really enjoying the Guy Gardner aspects of these stories. He's a trip, absolutely a hilarious character. And not necessarily in the way that J.M. DeMatteis and Kevin McGuire wrote him wrote him and drew him all those years ago, and Keith Giffen, of course, rest in peace, Keith. I wouldn't say that he's written funny just to be funny, but he's a funny character. His nature is, he's the Lobo kind of character of the Green Lantern Corps. So you've got to enjoy him for his comedic timing, if nothing else. And he's got him a little sidekick that kind of looks like Gnort. And I'm just down for it. Love it. Lost Fantasy by Kurt Pyers and Casalanguida, I believe is the last name. I'm kind of on the fence on that title. I like that it's different than everything else. It's not really just a superhero thing. It's more of a fantasy book where you have characters that can do fantastical things rather than just super heroic things. The character of Henry has grabbed me, and the fact that we are having murder mysteries and things like that within these worlds that could be Final Fantasy, Square Enix worlds, or things of that nature. I'll give it the first 5 or 6 issues, and if it doesn't completely crank up to 11 by that point, unlike Spinal Tap, I'm out. Let's see, Something is Killing the Children. I'm going to give that book until issue 50 and to get back to a modern-day Erica Slaughter story, and if not, I'm just going to drop it, because I get that we are hungry for who Erica Slaughter was before and how she got to be the person that she is. But I honestly kind of feel like James Tynion ran out of steam after issue 15, after the Archer's Peak saga. It's not that it's not well written, but it feels like it's spinning its wheels. It feels like it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to give it to issue 50 to come back to the current day storytelling, and if not, I'm going to drop it. It's just too slow. All right, Spawn. I was actually going to drop Spawn with issue 366, but Todd and Brett Booth and company just keep bringing me in. It's just too much fun. It's simple fun. It's kind of like a lot of people have read The Savage Dragon over the years, and Eric Larson's politics can sometimes be insufferable, but you can't deny the man has worked on this one title for all these years by himself. Now, it didn't come out with the regularity that Cerebus did, so I don't know that he can claim that, but he's written and drawn every issue, every single issue. And Spawn, although Todd jumped off of Spawn relatively quickly, he still loves that character. You can see that he's built years and years of lore. Excuse me, guys. Built years and years of lore with this character. And he still loves Spawny Guy. Just like they said in Wizard back in the 90s. It's the Spawny Guy. Transformers 21. Well, Transformers from Skybound. I'm going to keep on until issue 24. Well, Daniel Warren Johnson leaves, and then we shall see whether I continue on. The book is just pitch perfect. It's a 10 out of a 10, chef's kiss. But we'll see what happens with a new writer, because I don't know who this new writer might be. I don't know if they're going to have the same love for these characters. It might be Kirkman himself. Who knows? But we're going to see very, very shortly, because I just saw that the solicits came out yesterday for September, I believe, and that's going to be issue 24. So when the solicits come for next month, we will find out who the new writer / artist, or maybe Jorge Corona, is going to stay on the title. But we will find out at least who the new writer on the title is going to be. World Tree. Nice character study on Sammy. A little backstory there as well. I'm going to give it to issue 20 and see where we get from there. It's on issue 15 right now. Hoping that it speeds up just a little bit. But that's kind of what Tynion does. is he goes and he just builds worlds, characters, backstories, Bibles worth of material. And the only thing is, Wolverine was a popular character for years because we didn't know anything about his past. And once we learned everything that we know about his past, he's not really that interesting anymore. He might be the best that he does at what he does. But Wolverine himself, James Howlett, is not nearly as interesting a character as he used to be when we didn't know anything. All right. Absolute Flash. More Lemire goodness. He's knocking it out of the park on this one. So I'm definitely in it to win it. Exquisite Corpses lost me after the second issue. It slowed considerably, and the focus on the backdoor politics instead of all the murdering, which is what we all came for, right? Really disinterested in me. It really just bummed me out because I'm here to see the mayhem. And the mayhem in this issue took a back seat to, well, we're rich and we should run the country, and this is why we should run the country. This is why we are in power. I don't care about all that. I want to see a free-for-all. I want to see Murder Falcon with these Exquisite Corpses characters. I want to see do a power bomb. I want to see just all-out, balls-to-the-wall action with these characters, and I'm not getting that in this series. And we should be focusing on the killers, all of them, because there's so many of them, rather than focusing on the backdoor politics. Let's see what else we have here. Flash Gordon. I'm going to stay on that at least until issue 15 when Jeremy Adams is gone because he's DC exclusive now. But I'm just loving what he's doing on the title, and I'll reassess if the title survives post-issue 15. Phantom Road. Phantom Road is another Jeff Lemire book. Extremely strong book. It's intrigue. There's murder. There's these idols, little babies, zombie-like creatures. Hey, if after all that you're not interested, I don't know if you have a pulse. Vatican City is finished. I hated to see it go. I wish it would have stuck around for a few more issues. I was really, really enjoying that one, and I hope that if they sell it to Netflix or whoever, that they can make that a much longer miniseries or even series than what Mark Millar and Per Berg were able to do with that story. Vanishing Point #2. That was my last issue of Vanishing Point. It's an anthology, and I didn't know that going into it. That first cover really, really drew me in. But since we have a different set of stories every single issue, I never have been fond of anthologies. Department of Truth. Department of Truth. That's a book that I'm going to continue on for right now. And it's got a lot of politics in it too, but it's not as deep and as heavy as Exquisite Corpses is. But I'm going to hang out with it for the next little while. We'll see what happens. See if everything else is there. Sleep by Xander Cannon. Looking forward to issue 2 of that, where it seems like we've got a character who is killing folks in his sleep and he doesn't know anything about it. So, once again, Exquisite Corpses, take note. Get to the murdering. The Seasons #5 by Rick Remender. That book is excellent, showing the Seasons sisters. And it reminds me a lot of Winsor McKay with the artwork. So it's a nice throwback type of title. Tin Can Society, I think it's got 2 more issues to go. So we have to see how this all shakes out. Who did the murdering? We know who got murdered. But who did it? Who did the dastardly deed? And that is pretty much it, folks. So let me pull up this. Give me just a moment. All right, so at the end of the day, so far, I am keeping Absolute Flash, Absolute Wonder Woman, Amazing Spider-Man, Aquaman. Gonna keep Batman through 163 and the giant-sized issues. Conan, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, the Fantastic Four facsimile books, Feral, Flash Gordon, G.I. Joe, Green Lantern Corps, Minor Arcana, Last Boy, Lost Fantasy through issue 5 or so, Phantom Road, Something's Killing the Children, Spawn, Transformers, Ultimate Spider-Man, Universal's Monsters Mummy for one more issue, Void Rivals, Walking Dead Deluxe, and World Tree. So let me know what you guys thought about my list, what you thought, were there any books that you think I should be keeping instead of dropping? Just let me know in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about videos like this. I'm trying to be more than just a comic review, TV review, movie review channel. I want to talk and get into the nitty-gritty of why I collect, why these things are important to me, and hey, if I cut one of your favorite books, then let me know why I should have kept on, why you're interested in it, why you love it so much. I'm interested to hear these things. All right, guys, by the way, before I go, just in case I haven't shown you before, my wife got me this shirt for Father's Day, and it says, "Don't worry, I got this." And at the bottom of it, if I can show that off, I don't know if I can or not. I got this. I watched a YouTube video. So I thought you guys might appreciate the levity in that. My wife thinks it's a perfect shirt for me, and I kind of think it is too. So thanks for joining me, guys. I know I was a little long-winded, but I wanted to go into this with letting you guys know what books really, really entertain me and which ones I'm going to keep and which ones I'm going to drop. Anyway, guys, hit me in the likes. Let me know with the likes in the comments down below, and let me know what your thoughts are. Catch you guys next time.